Good day riders, you've read the title, it's time to answer the burning question once more. We've mounted our bike with our measuring equipment and sent our test rider out for countless rides. We've got everything we need to find the very best sport touring helmet of 2024, so sit back, relax and follow along. Who will be competing for the title? First of all, sport touring helmets are designed to serve both as a sport bike helmet and as a touring helmet. They're known for their aerodynamic shapes to reduce wind resistance, while having convenient touring features like an integrated sun visor at the same time. We've tested every high-end sport touring helmet on the market, including 3 newcomers. And like always, we've set up a wide range of criteria to accurately find out which one of our contenders is the best sport touring helmet of 2024. Let's get started. Here we go. Let's kick off with our material segment. Here, helmets can earn stars according to our material matrix, which looks at 2 things. First, we look at the material the outer shell is made of, and then we check the amount of outer shell sizes a helmet is available in. A more compact outer shell not only looks better, but is also more capable of protecting your head. Now that's clear, let's look at the results. Right away the competition is extremely close among our contenders, with only 1 star separating most of the list. At the top is our newcomer, the HSA Arva 71 Carbon. This helmet earns half a star extra compared to the original Arva 71 due to its outer shell being upgraded to carbon fiber. This helmet that scored 4 stars on this part consists of both fiberglass composite and carbon fiber helmets. Remember, carbon fiber helmets get half a star extra for their material, so that means that every fiberglass helmet with 4 stars has an extra outer shell to make up for it. That covers it for our material segment. Let's continue to weight. Okay, time to review how these helmets performed on the scale. We've weighed every helmet equally in a size M without any additional features. Then we ran the results through our weight matrix to determine star scores. It's important to know that we've updated our weight matrix since our last Sport Touring Top 10 video. In our new weight matrix, helmets can now earn half stars, allowing us to score them more accurately. However, this new accuracy can result in some helmets getting a lower score than they did before. Now that is clear, let's look at the results. This time around, our top scorer hails from Italy as the AGV K6S beats the rest with a sizable margin. But there is a catch though, because the K6S saves on weight by not being equipped with an integrated sun visor, while most of our other contenders do have this feature. It's a benefit right now for weight, but later on the visor part it will cost stars. The competition beneath the K6S couldn't get any closer as the Challenger Carbon and the NXR2 are separated by only a single gram. Then we see one of our newcomers, the EXO 1400 Evo Carbon 2, weighing in at an impressive 1412 grams. In the lower half of the list, you'll notice that the HSA Arva 71 Carbon did manage to shave off around 56 grams compared to the original fiberglass composite version. That's it for our weight segment. If you like this approach, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so we can keep testing helmets on the road and make these guides. There's plenty more to come, so let's continue. We've arrived at our visor segment. Here, helmets can earn stars according to our visor matrix, and this matrix includes all kinds of visor features and other important visor characteristics. Naturally, not every visor feature is equally as important to your riding experience, which is why we've weighted them based on what riders ask us about the most. Let's look at the results. The Scorpion EXO 1400 Evo Carbon 2 earned this score because it pretty much checks off every box. It comes with a pinlock lens and an additional dark smoke visor in the box. It has a wide field of vision, internal sun visor and a solid visor mechanism. The Shoei GT-R 3 matched the ultimate score of the Scorpion, but did it in a different way. This helmet does not have an additional smoke visor or transition visor in the box, but it does have the best visor mechanism out of all of our contenders. It seals the visor against the shell of the helmet, and when opened it holds it firmly in 7 different positions. The GT-R 3 is also fitted with an internal sun visor, comes with a pinlock lens in the box and has a wide field of vision. We notice that the helmet did great on weight, like the NXR and the AGV, thanks to not having an internal sun visor, pay the price on the visor part. That's it for this part. Let's continue to our first road test segment, noise isolation. Alright, time to take these helmets out on the road and see how they hold up. Here we find out to what extent our sport touring contenders were able to isolate the outside noise. And we measured this by placing a decibel meter inside the helmet close to our test rider's ear. This device records the sound the same way as our rider hears it. And we take our measurements from long stretches of open highway with an average speed of 130 km per hour. Then we use our noise isolation matrix to determine the star scores. The lower the decibel, the quieter a helmet is and the more stars it earns. Now that's clear, time to look at the results. For noise, we see that the competition is insanely close as our list starts with a 4-way tie at the top. Among those 4 is one of our newcomers, the Shoei GT-R 3. This helmet has big shoes to fill because it's the successor to last year's winner, the GT-R 2. So it's nice to see it placed amongst the quietest helmets in this category. Below the top 4 are some very interesting results. A 3-way tie that includes our other 2 newcomers. You might be wondering if a difference of 1 or 2 decibels is even noticeable out on the road, but we can assure you that every decibel is clearly audible, so even the smallest differences matter. Anyways, that's it for noise isolation. Time to move on to ventilation. We've arrived at our second road test segment, where we test to what extent these helmets are able to keep the inside temperature cool and comfortable. We measure this by placing a sensor inside the helmet. This sensor is connected to a thermometer and displays the temperature live on the device on the left. At the same time, we keep track of the outside temperature and compare the two. To translate the results into star scores, we use our ventilation matrix. The smaller the temperature difference between the inside and outside temperatures, the more stars a helmet earns. Let's see the results. It's amazing to see how close the competition is for this part, and it's safe to say that every helmet crushed it in our ventilation test. Only a single degree separates first and last place, and that's something we don't see often. Remember that we're discussing the absolute best helmets available today, and we're seeing how manufacturers move closer to each other more and more each year. However, similar to our previous segment, you'll notice that our newcomers weren't quite able to place themselves at the top of the list. While a temperature difference of only +1 degree is still very impressive, they performed a tiny bit weaker than their older counterparts. It'll be very interesting to see where they end up in our final ranking. That's it for ventilation. Let's continue to our next segment. Our sport touring contenders have been performing well so far, but are all of them even comfortable to wear? That's exactly what we're going to discuss in this segment, but it does present a challenge for us, as it's very difficult to express the comfort of a helmet in concrete data. Therefore, for this segment only, we rely on the more than 17 years of riding experience of our test rider. He has also tested all the other helmets on our channel and can therefore make a comparison like no other. Furthermore, we also weigh in comfort features that a helmet comes with. Let's have a look at the results. Here, the Arai Quantic, a helmet we haven't mentioned so far, takes first place. This helmet has a feature called the facial counter system that provides extra support around the cheeks. Additionally, the Quantic allows you to peel around 5 mm off the crown padding, which can make a big difference in the overall feel of the helmet. Aside from that, the inner liner is removable, washable and antibacterial. To summarize, it has every comfort feature you want out of a sport touring helmet. The other helmets on this list are also very comfortable to wear, and there aren't any outliers to speak of. In this price range of sport touring helmets, most inner liners are generally adjustable or replaceable, washable and antibacterials. If you'd like to know more about the fit and comfort of a specific helmet in this list, check out our channel where we have an individual review for most of these helmets. We've arrived at our final segment, features. Here we look at the bells and whistles these helmets are equipped with. Helmets earn stars according to our features matrix. Naturally, not every feature is equally as impactful on your riding experience, so we've weighed them based on what riders ask us about the most. A helmet earns stars for every feature they check off. Now, let's look at the results. At the top of the list we find the Arva 71 series. They are fitted with an emergency quick release, speaker pockets and are prepared for the HSA Smart 21B and Smart 50 communication systems. They are glasses friendly and they are wind tunnel tested. The Schuberth S3 also has an impressive list of features and matches the score of the Arva 71s. This helmet is prepared specifically for the Sena SC2 communication system. The speakers are already pre-wired inside the helmet, only requiring you to plug in the battery and you're good to go. It's also wind tunnel tested, glasses friendly and has a quick release pads. And to top it all off, the S3 is fitted with Schuberth's anti-roll-off system, which makes sure that the helmet stays exactly where it needs to be to protect your head in the unfortunate case of an accident. The other helmets on this list are fitted with the essential features like being glasses friendly, having speaker pockets and an emergency quick release, but don't offer a lot more besides that, therefore earning a lower score. That wraps up our feature segment. Time to put all of these scores side by side and see which helmets are the favorites to win the title this year. Alright, by putting the scores side by side we get a clear picture of the strengths and weaknesses of our contenders. Now usually, when we look at an overview like this, it's very easy to pinpoint at least one or two favorites to win the title, but that's not the case here. With so many strong contenders, we need to look at one more criteria before we come to our final ranking. And that is the price. Okay, we've arrived at our final segment before we reveal the final ranking. We have a good understanding of how these helmets performed, but what happens when we start weighing in the price? Time to calculate a value for money rating for every contender. We do this by looking at two different things. First, we look at the amount of average stars earned per helmet. This says something about the quality. And then we calculate the euros per star, which says something about the value for money. Finally, we combine the two and come to our price quality score. Let's take a look at the results. Our newcomer, the EXO 1400 EVO Carbon 2, is the value for money champ. It has the best balance between pricing and performance out of every contender. This helmet had very consistent and strong results throughout our testing with a relatively budget-friendly price of 430 euros. A seriously impressive showing and a high standard for other helmets to follow. But our other contenders aren't far behind, as the entire list managed an average amount of stars between the 3.5 and 3.9 range, which is seriously impressive. At the same time, the single highest Europe star amount is 28, coming from the Arai Quantic. Alright, we've ran through all of our tests and calculations. It's time to crown a winner in our final ranking. Here we go. Time to reveal our final top 10 and find out which helmet takes the title. We'll start at the bottom to keep things interesting. Our list starts off with the Arai Quantic in 10th place. While it placed last, it still had some very impressive performances, mainly on comfort. In that segment, the Quantic placed at the very top of the list due to the adjustability of the padding. However, this helmet did show weaknesses in our weight, noise isolation and feature segment. It's also the most expensive helmet in this top 10, which pushed it down in our value for money rating. In 9th place, we find the Shark Spartan GT Pro. This helmet has a much more budget-friendly price, but it struggled to stand out throughout this video, placing among the middle of the pack in pretty much every segment, and with competition as close as this, these results just don't cut it to be placed higher on the list. Then, the LS2 Challenger Carbon takes 8th place. This helmet did well in the material, weight, visor and ventilation segments. However, it ended up on the bottom of the list on features, earning only 2 stars, which was the lowest out of any contender. And with competition as intense as this, a result like that really makes a big difference. In 7th place, we find the Schubert S3. This helmet got off to a rough start, placing at the very bottom of the list both in the material and weight segments. However, after the slow start, the S3 started to turn things around, earning an impressive 4.5 stars in both the visor and feature segment. It also had great results in our road test segments. Unfortunately, these results were not enough to make up for the poor start on material and weight. We move to 6th place, where we find our first newcomer, the Shoei GT-R 3. A very consistent and reliable helmet with a 5-star score on the visor segment due to its excellent visor mechanism. It also earned a solid 4 stars in most of the other segments. However, it gets held back by a weak result on weight, and many of our contenders outperformed the GT-R 3 on material as well, preventing it from placing higher on the list. And even more disappointing is the fact that it scored lower than its predecessor, the GT-R 2. It became heavier, noisier and got a lower value for money score. Shoei should have waited longer and actually improved the helmet before launching it and raising the price. Alright, time to move into the top 5, and 5th place goes to the Arva 71 Carbon, another newcomer. This helmet had solid scores throughout our testing, earning 4 stars or more in almost every segment apart from weight, which makes it the helmet with the highest quality average. Also worth mentioning was its excellent feature score. Unfortunately, this helmet struggled on the scale and there were many helmets that earned a higher score in our weight segment. In 4th place we find the HSA Arva 71, placing higher in our rankings than its carbon relative. The reason for this is that both helmets pretty much had the same scores. The only difference in stars was in our material segment, where its carbon relative earned half a star more because of its carbon fiber outer shell. Worth noting is that in our weight and road test segments, the Arva 71 actually performed slightly better than the carbon version, although this wasn't enough to earn a different amount of stars. However, the Arva 71 has a much better budget-friendly price tag, rightfully earning 4th place. We've arrived at our top 3 sport touring helmets. Who takes the bronze medal? The answer is the Shoei NXR2. This helmet has a lot of strengths, it's lightweight, quiet, comfortable and has great ventilation. It has one of the highest average amount of stars and one of the lowest Europa star ratings. However, despite these obvious strengths, it scored lower in our visor segment because of the lack of an internal sun visor, and additionally, it didn't have a whole lot of fancy features like some of our other contenders. Third place is a very impressive result, but there are still 2 helmets left that performed even better. We're down to 2 helmets, so which helmet can call itself the best sport touring helmet for 2024? The AGV K6S or the EXO 1400 EVO Carbon 2? Both of them had excellent performances throughout our testing, but only one can take the title. Second place goes to the AGV K6S, which means that the Scorpion EXO 1400 EVO Carbon 2 takes the title and is the best sport touring helmet available today. The K6S helmet is one of the lightest helmets available today, had strong performances in our road tests and in our material and comfort segments. At the same time, it's one of the most budget-friendly options on the list. However, the K6S had a lower score in our visor segment due to it not being equipped with an internal sun visor, and it didn't have any other visor features to make up for it. This is exactly where our winner, the EXO 1400 EVO Carbon 2, made the difference. This helmet earned a full 5 stars in our visor segment and had consistently great results in our other segments. It's easily among the best performing helmets in this top 10, while at the same time having the lowest Euro per star rating out of any of them. A deadly combination of price and performance. Well done to Scorpion. And that's it for this top 10. I've been saying it throughout this top 10, but the competition was really extremely close this year. It came down to the smallest differences, and never did we have such a close race as this year. I hope you learned a lot today, and share your opinion and experiences with any of these helmets so we can all learn from the comments below. Every sport touring helmet we mentioned in this video is available at championhelmets.com, where we offer the lowest price guaranteed and have very sharp discount bundles. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you want to stay up to date with our content, because we've got many more videos like this on the way. Guys, ride smart and buy safe. Until next time.